Hello everyone and welcome to this video, which is in our chess variant series. I'm Grandmaster Matthew Sadler and we're continuing our look at some interesting stuff about pawn sideways chess. As you do, I just, whilst doing other things, I just suddenly get distracted and think about stuff. And I got thinking about this position. Now, this is a very famous position in normal chess, and well, I'll maybe just give you just a couple of minutes, just to a couple of seconds, maybe, just to bring up the typical idea in this position that enables White to win in normal chess. Very important to know this one. I mean, I say that I've never had it in an actual game, but still, very important to know. So that's simply the move b6, and whichever way black captures, White's got a sort of a distracting move. So we've got takes, a6 now, b takes a6, c6, and just a win for White. Very nice indeed. You see it in all the beginner books. So what I want to ask you is, what do you think happens in sideways chess with this line? Just give you a couple of seconds to think about it. Well, this is actually completely fine for black, because after b6 takes a6, can you see which move black plays? That's right, the good old sideways move c7. And that's not working at all. So that sort of got me into thinking about, well, how could I make this work for White? And that led to certainly my first ever study in pawn sideways chess. And you never know, maybe it's the first ever. Maybe I have that accolade. So let me show you this position. Alright, so here it is. You'll see that a couple of things have changed in comparison to the previous position. The black king is one move closer towards the pawns, and a pawn has been moved from c5 to d5. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to give you a little bit of time. It's White to play and win. It's not super complicated, but you do have to get your head around the concepts of pawns in pawn sideways chess. I think actually it's a very good a very good little training here for understanding how these pawns work, because it's quite unusual when you compare it to normal chess. In some ways richer, in some ways not, So okay, I'm going to show you the solution now. So if you don't want to hear it, if you want to work at it, then go for it. I would actually recommend doing it. Just spend a couple of minutes or something just thinking about how it could be. And if you don't get it, then that's absolutely fine, and then just enjoy the solution. That's how I always do studies nowadays. I don't try and struggle with them. I try and see whether I can see them quickly, try and get some feeling of ideas, and then just enjoy the beauty of it. So there we are. So what is the solution? Well, obviously we still do want to create a passed d pawn. I mean, there's nothing different about that. One extra idea, of course, is that White could play the move here, but Black's got a couple of ways of dealing it. Obviously, the king can come to f5 here. Also, in actual fact, the pawn can come to d7 to stop it. That wasn't actually the idea of having the king on g4. It was something else. So what White actually wants to play is the move b6. So a takes b6, and then a takes b6. And of course, what we want to do after takes here is to play d6, and there's nothing black can do. You can't move the pawn across here because I just take it. So that would just be completely winning. But what does black have in this position? What's the pawn sideways defense in this position? Yeah, it's pawn there. And then at first sight you're sort of thinking, well, this just looks actually just a little bit dead somehow, right? I mean, how is white going to create anything in this position? Well, the answer is that you come back. So in principle, you're ready to come all the way over to a5 and just play the move a6 and break through like that. And black's got a couple of different possibilities here. So let's have a look at both of them. I would say you've got the move king here, trying to get back, or you've got the move king here, which is basically, also trying to get back, maybe, but also shouldering away the white king and getting ready maybe to start pushing your own pawn when white starts trying to queen. So let's have a look. King here first. So pawn there, and now king there. And now quite an interesting little point there, and that's one of the things I think that you can get a bit, you get a bit confused by, or you just need to get your head around how pawn sideways chess is, because I think the natural move for when you're a normal chess player is to play the move a5 to do the break a6. But this doesn't actually work because black's actually in time. And by the way, do bear in mind that there's this extra little thing in pawn sideways chess, but the king deals with it, and that's fine. But white has a better move here. What's the move? Yeah, it's this one. So that's just one move quicker. So if you go king d6, I'm not going to take. I'm going to play the move here simply. That's the easiest win. And if you play the typical, can you see the typical pawn sideways defense? It's here indeed, but I still go here. And then I take there, and completely winning, of course, because I'm going to queen. You see how pawn sideways is, I mean, it's very similar to chess. I mean, that's why I'm loving this so much, I have to say. It's because it's very similar to chess, but there's just some little tweaks, that give some extra defenses and also some extra attacking possibilities. And I think that's what makes a really successful variant somehow. So king there is one idea. Another idea, I played pawn there and here, and then the important thing is that you don't go the long way round. Although don't go the long way round basically. But this is probably the best move. So you take it off. I take off here, there, here, check. And these are actually winning for white. I'm just going to show you a couple of positions at the end. They're quite similar, although not completely similar. Queen and pawn versus queen versus pawn rather. So you'll see that. But that was the study. So rather lovely, I think. I'm not making any huge claims for it, but I think it's quite instructive as well. And I think you really get a sense of what the pawns can do in this type of chess. And I really did like this idea here somehow. That the pawns could actually break in several ways. A5, A6, or just BA6 somehow. But I thought that was really, really nice. Okay, let's just show you a couple of queen positions. So this one is white to play. What do you think the result is? Well, the funny thing is, of course, that in normal chess this would just be a draw, right? Because you can never, you're just stalemating the black king, and you can just never, let the king loose without allowing the pawn to run. Queen c3, king b1, for example, and then pawn queens. If the king was a bit closer, if the king was on e2, it could move to d2, and this is a well-known thing: a1 queen, queen c2 checkmate. But the king's just a little bit too far away there. Only the key point about this is that it isn't actually stalemate. There's no stalemate threat in pawn sideways chess, because black is actually threatened to play the pawn to b2. So I just play the move king e2, and then you have to play the move b2. And then I just give you a check. It doesn't matter what you do. I mean, if you go here now, I just go king d2, and this is going to be queen c1 checkmate. And if you go to b1, then I just go king to d2, and I'm just way too close, right? So c2, for example, I just go queen c1 check, and queen c2, and there we are, and it's just a win. So that position is a win for white in pawn sideways chess, where it would normally be a draw. This position, however, is still a draw. It's a draw in normal chess. It's also a draw in pawn sideways chess, because obviously the threat of the black pawn is to actually queen. You know, so that's a pretty big threat, and yeah, you just can never actually manage to get black in a position where he's in front of his pawn. So you know, check there, check. That's the power of this setup for black. You don't have to protect the pawn, because queen takes c2 is stalemate. Yeah, if the white king was one move closer, then it could move to, you could organize it to move to d2, like in the example that we saw before. But here it's actually still drawn. So yeah, you know, these are quite interesting things somehow, you know, to see. You know, it's really you start getting a little feeling about, you know, the richness of these positions and what it actually brings. And yeah, some of them are subtly different, and some of them are just the same, you know. So quite interesting, I found that. So I hope you like that too. It's all a little bit esoteric and niche, I do admit, but I do think it's a really, really nice variant of chess. So there we are. Hope you're enjoying these. I just do these from time to time when some things pop into my head. I've got a few, I'm gathering a few little tactics as well that I've had in my own games, just to show you as well. There's a few funny ones in there. And yeah, you know, hope you're enjoying this variant series, and hope to see you at the next ones. Thanks for watching.